What if Angelina Jolie quit Hollywood and became a diplomat? Angelina Jolie, already known to the world as an actress and philanthropist, feels that her mission in Hollywood has been accomplished. She decides to dedicate her life to something greater, helping those who find themselves in the most difficult conditions. After many years of working in refugee camps and collaborating with the UN, Angelina understands that to make a real change, she needs not only money and influence, but also political power. She enters a prestigious university where she studies international relations, political science, and diplomacy. Her studies are not easy. She faces criticism from her fellow students who believe that celebrities have no place in politics. But Angelina does not give up. She spends nights reading, attends lectures by the best professors, and gradually gains the respect of those around her. Her first step in diplomacy is working for the UN Children's Rights Commission. Here she begins to understand how the system works and how to change it. Angelina is sent to a country engulfed in civil war. Her task is to organize a humanitarian corridor to evacuate children from a war zone. On the spot, she encounters a horrifying reality: destroyed cities, hungry children, despair in the eyes of mothers. Angelina does not just lead the operation. She personally participates in the evacuation, risking her life. In one of the refugee camps, she meets a little girl who has lost her entire family. Angelina decides to adopt her, despite all the difficulties. This act becomes a symbol of hope for thousands of people. Her mission ends in success. Hundreds of children are saved, and the world learns about a new face of diplomacy, strong, courageous, and humane. Inspired by the success of her first mission, Angelina decides to create her own foundation to help refugees. She calls it Peace for All. The foundation does more than just provide food and shelter. It helps people find work, get an education, and start a new life. Angelina personally visits refugee camps, talks to people, and listens to their stories. She understands that help should be not only material, but also psychological. The foundation opens support centers where people can get advice from psychologists and lawyers. Her children are actively involved in the foundation's work. The older ones help organize events. The younger ones draw posters and write letters to children in the camps. The foundation quickly becomes one of the most influential in the world, and Angelina becomes a symbol of humanism. Angelina is appointed a special UN envoy to a region where a conflict between two neighboring countries has been going on for many years. Her task is to organize negotiations between the parties. This seems impossible. The leaders of the countries hate each other and refuse to even meet. But Angelina finds an unconventional approach. She organizes secret meetings in a neutral country where leaders can speak frankly without the pressure of the press and politicians. She uses her acting skills to find a common language with each of them, and gradually the parties begin to trust her. After months of tense negotiations, a temporary truce is reached and then a long-term peace agreement. Her methods, a combination of toughness and empathy, become training material for future diplomats. Despite her success, Angelina faces criticism. Politicians accuse her of being too idealistic, and her foundation is at risk of closing due to lack of funding. At this point, Angelina decides to write a book about her experiences. She talks about how she worked in refugee camps, how she organized negotiations, and how she dealt with personal crises. The book becomes a bestseller, and the proceeds save the foundation. Angelina understands that even in difficult times, it is important to believe in your ideals. She begins to actively give lectures, inspiring people around the world to take action. Her story becomes an example of how one person can change the world. Over the years, Angelina Jolie has become a symbol of humanism and diplomacy. Her foundation helps millions of people, and her children continue her work. She writes several more books, which are translated into dozens of languages. Her story inspires people around the world, and she continues to fight for peace, justice, and equality. Angelina proves that even one person can change the world for the better. Her name becomes a household word, and her methods of work are studied at universities. She continues to travel the world, helping those in need, and proving that kindness and determination can overcome any obstacles. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to learn more amazing stories about how celebrities could change the world. Like, share with friends, and leave comments. Your opinion is important to us.